You are listening to the Winners Ways podcast with Bola Alabi, episode number 86.
Would you like to win and achieve success at what you do? Welcome to the Winners Ways podcast, where we create winners every day. And now, your host, the author of Winners Ways book and life coach, Bola Alabi.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of the Winners Ways podcast, where we talk about your career, your money, and we give you life motivation so that you can live to your fullest potential. If you have ever been thinking about how to start a business online, today's show is for you. If you want to start generating some passive income, today's show is for you. This is because I have a guest on the show today. He's an expert on how to make money online, and I'm going to be asking him questions to help you to figure out how to start your online business. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to stay with us today as I question Jason on how to create your online business. So listen. Okay, hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Winners Ways podcast. Today's show we have a guest. His name is Jason Osborne, and he's the head of coaching at the Rethink Academy. Over the past 10 years, the Rethink Academy has helped over 10,000 individuals go on to live extraordinary lives by starting successful online business and living the life of their dreams. They are passionate about helping people to make money online, and that's why I'm excited to have Jason on the show today, because we are going to be learning everything we can about how to make money online. Hey, Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, man.
So can you please introduce yourself to my audience and tell us exactly what you do?
Yeah, sure, man. So my name is Jason Osborne, and I live in the UK up near Leeds, but I am originally from Texas. So I'm from Texas, moved to the Republic of Ireland on the West Coast about 15 years ago, and then moved to the UK about 9 years ago. So a bit all over the place, but I always like telling people that straight away because they end up trying to figure out where I'm from as opposed to actually listening to what I have to say. So yeah, man. So that's me. And we can get into all sorts of stuff of my journey on online marketing and what we're doing at the Rethink Academy and just some examples around that, but really looking to add a lot of great value to you and your listeners today, man.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's good to know that you are from Texas, because I currently live in Texas. I'm in Houston. And yeah, it's exciting. And I lived in the UK for a while. I lived in Newcastle. So,
nice. What part of Houston? I know this is completely off subject, but I'm curious.
So yeah, I live in Cyprus.
A nice Cyprus, nice. I'm was further on the south side of Houston, so I grew up around Lamarck. If anyone knows where that is, I'm sure you do, but I don't know if anyone else will know.
Okay, yeah. So this is exciting. So let's say I'm a novice about online business. I have access to the internet. I have my smartphone. I have my social media contacts. What can I do to make money?
Okay, cool. So the first thing that you want to look at, and we have an acronym that we use called Rethink. So that's what we do. We help everyone rethink the way they do social media. The first thing we got to look at is R, which is making sure you're in the right niche, okay, or niche. If you're in the States, fellow American, we say niche. But this is what we want to look at. We want to look at the right niche that you're going into, because a lot of people just say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. As a matter of fact, I was just speaking to somebody yesterday, and they had loads of different ideas on how to make money. maybe coaching people, or maybe doing Amazon, or maybe doing Shopify, or should they be doing stuff on Facebook? And they're all over the place with ideas. And we're bombarded with ways to make money online, and everyone has the next best thing, don't they? It's like you see one ad on Facebook, or you watch a webinar and someone's talking about, you shouldn't be blogging anymore, you should do micro blogging, and that's the next thing. And then you hear someone talk about, Facebook ads, and like, oh no, don't use Facebook ads, that's dead, you should be doing LinkedIn. And it confuses people as to what to do. So getting really clear on the right niche. So what is it that you're actually offering people? How are you going to help them? And what's the problem you're solving? That's really, really important, because yes, you could have your mobile phone, you can have all that stuff, but if you don't know who you're helping, you're going to be all over the place. So that's the first thing. Okay. Then what we want to do is we move into the E, which is evaluate your avatar. So evaluate who your ideal prospect is. And people get really confused around this process. One of the things that happens is people oftentimes lump themselves into what I call a commodity-based market. So they go in and they'll say, okay, I want to help people and I want to become a life coach. So I'm a life coach, or I'm a business coach, or even if we're looking like at an accountant or a solicitor, this is what I am. The problem with that, though, is because you haven't really understood who your avatar is, who you're specifically helping, how you're going to help them, and what makes you different, you put yourself into a group of people that do the same thing or very similar things to you. And what happens? People buy on price. So one of the examples that I like to have is a personal trainer, right? Mm-hmm. You know as well as I know where to find a personal trainer. They're at the gym down the road, and you're going to go in, you're going to chat to them, you're going to find out what they do. And what they do is either help you with weights or help you lose fat, right? We all know that. There's not really a big difference between personal trainers. So what do? How much? So we ask them, how much do you charge? Great. We find out how much they charge, and then we shop around. And then we go with the person we feel most comfortable with, and usually is maybe not the cheapest, because we don't want to be cheap. So we'll go right above that next level, but it's one of the cheapest, right? Because it's a commodity. They're a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. And so understanding who your target market is, who your avatar is really important, because by understanding that, you make yourself different. So as an example, if you're a personal trainer marketing yourself, if you were to get really specific and say, okay, well, actually, I want to work with athletes, okay, as opposed to just the everyday person that creates, I don't know when this is going to air, but, we're coming up a month away from the new year, okay? And what happens? New Year's resolution. So if you're just a general PT, you're going to get probably a few clients in January, and then you're going to lose them 2 weeks later. And so you have to keep looking for people. But if you're going, well, actually, no, I want to work with serious people that I can work long term with. I want to work with athletes. Well, athletes, they're in a completely different frame of mind, right? Yeah. They're thinking about how to increase their performance. They're probably already watching what they eat. They understand what their caloric intake is. They're a more educated type of customer. If to, maybe not the best use of words, but they're better quality type of client.
Yeah.
So if you position yourself where I help athletes to achieve peak performance in 90 days, I'm not a PT, so I don't know if that's possible to do in 90 days, but whether it's 120 days or whatever, that's very different to just a PT.
Yeah.
And you're able to charge more. You're dealing with better types of clients and longer term clients as well. So evaluating your avatar is really, really, really important. Mm-hmm. Okay. So those are the first two steps around that. Then what we want to do is move into the T, which is a target the right traffic. Okay. So and this goes again to understanding your avatar, because you need to make sure that you're getting in front of your target market and you're targeting them in the right place. So if you have a product or service that's more business to consumer, Facebook or Instagram is probably going to be a really good platform for you. If you do more business to business or business to professional, then LinkedIn's probably going to be a better platform for you. It could be Etsy, it could be Pinterest, it could be Twitter. Understanding where your market is and how you're going to be communicating with them and targeting the right traffic is really important as well. So understanding which platforms you should be using, whether you should be using YouTube, all that kind of stuff, and not getting overwhelmed by it. Yeah. Because people go, oh, I need to be doing Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube. And they get overwhelmed by what they think they should be doing and then never start because it just seems too much. So we always tell people, get started on one platform, get really good at that. And then if you want to branch out into other platforms, do that once you've got that one down that's working really well. So target the right traffic. Once you've targeted them, so once you know specifically what you're doing, so you've got the right niche, you understand who your target market is, you've evaluated the avatar, and you know where they are. So you're targeting the right traffic. Then what you want to do is you want to move to the H bit, which is help for free. Okay. Now that may go against some people's intuition because like, well, I'm not running a charity here. I want to make some money. But you got to add value. Yes. You know, and this is where a lot of people don't understand. And if they are doing, you know, there's loads of ways you can do that. You can do it through a lead magnet where people fill in their name and email address to get an ebook or a training or whatever. It could be a discovery call where you get on the phone with someone and understand what their needs are to be able to provide a solution to whatever it is that they need. Whatever it is that you're offering for free, you want to make sure that there's value in that. I see a lot of people that, you know, they'll say, oh, I can just throw an ebook together. And there's not a lot of value in that. But that represents you. And so it doesn't mean that it needs to be 200 pages or anything like that. But there needs to be really strong value because that's the first taste that people will get of you and how you can help them. And if it doesn't come across as value, why would they move forward and actually pay you for anything? So helping for free. Once we do that, then we move to the I, which is the immediate upsell. Okay. We want to move people into making a decision. Now, this isn't being pushy or spammy or anything like that, but people are in what we call a yes state at that point. So once you've offered them something of value for free, that they are saying, yes, I want that information, I need help in that area, move them into something to buy. Okay, that could be something, it could be an affiliate product on the thank you page once they've signed up for your free ebook or whatever. It can be a discount to one of your own products. Or if you're on the phone, moving them into an offer, you know, saying, well, this is what I do and this is how much I charge for it. So it's that immediate upselling too, because people are already in that yes state, which is really important. Once we do that, then we go into N, which is nurture your list. And this could be an email list. It could be your audience on a social platform that you're on, but you're nurturing them. You're continuing to add value to them and letting them see that you're knowledgeable in that area, that you're adding value. Now, when people hear that sometimes they think, oh, but you know, I'm kind of new in this. I don't have tons of experience. It doesn't always come down to having years and years and years of experience. Okay. What it can be is just showing that you're in that process of learning yourself. So sometimes it's that journey of showing people that you're in that journey, that you're learning that, and that people really connect with that as well, saying, okay, someone else is going through the same challenges I'm going through. And you just talk about your learning experiences, how you're developing that process. And then in doing that, you can offer them things as well. But it's that nurturing element. People forget that, you know, you're not always going to get a customer or client the first time you have a contact with them. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, most of the time, it won't be the first contact. So you have to nurture that list and can be able to add value to them. Then the last thing, which is the K, know your numbers. And people don't do this. They don't know what their numbers are. And when I say know what your numbers are, it's when you have someone go, let's say you are giving away a free ebook. What's your conversion rate on that? How many people go to your landing page, put in their name and email address? Is it 5%? Is it 60%? Like, what is that? And once they do that, how many people take up your immediate upsell offer? Once you get people on a phone call, how many of those people end up being your client? Knowing those numbers are really important because you'll start seeing where you need to make changes. And we always tell people all the time with our clients, don't be led by emotion in this process, because you can work ages and ages and ages putting together, a so-called pretty landing page, and you're really emotionally attached into that landing page, and it's branded the way you want, it's the colors you want, all that kind of stuff. But if you've got a split test going on and you've got we'll just say a non-pretty landing page, but it converts 20% better, use the non-pretty landing page because it converts better. And so knowing your numbers is really important, because if you don't know those, you don't know where you're falling short, you don't know how to improve. And if you do make a change in any one of those steps along that process, you won't know whether it's worked or not worked. And so knowing your numbers is really important, because you need to go back and reevaluate those and see where you need to improve. So that's the Rethink kind of method and model to kind of answer your question. But there's we can dive into more detail around any of that kind of stuff. But that's it, for people starting off, that's the overall concept that they need to have coming into this.
So I must first let you know that this is super helpful to even me, because in my own online business too, I write books and I'm also trying to create digital products. I have my email list, and I've been building my list for about a year plus now.
Cool.
And the framework that you just went through, I think I'm picking them piece by piece, but the way you had it laid out, it's super clear. I think it can guide anyone that is maybe just starting tomorrow on what steps do I need to take in order to build an online business. And I think this is very, very helpful. So thank you very much for sharing that. When you talk about building your list, or how do you said nurture your list. How do you do that? What do you think are the most efficient way to accomplish that?
Well, it depends on what your niche is. If you have an email list, it's a great way to be able to nurture your list. There's a lot of people online right now saying, email is dead and all that kind of stuff. It's not. Okay. As long as you're adding value, that's where, if you're not adding value, then people won't open the emails anymore. So it's about making sure you're adding value to that. And there's loads of ways you can do that. It can be, sometimes people will do like a once a month Ask Me Anything session, where it's a group conversation where they're having people come in and they can ask questions about the particular topic and they're adding value. And then at the end of that, they say, well, look, if you want more information or how I can help you, let's get on a phone call, and they can move people into that. Sometimes it's articles that they write and send to people. So it's about understanding what your target market wants and how you can best help them, and not always selling as well. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, just, sell. If that's how you condition people on your list, that you're just constantly going to be selling to people, then they won't open your emails anymore, because they don't want to be sold to. Now, if you are promoting out webinars that add value to people, then that's different, because then you can add value to people on that. So it's a combination of understanding your industry, understanding your niche, how you can best add value to them, and then do it that way. The easiest way to think about that is put yourself in your prospect shoes. So what do you want from someone you're wanting to learn from? So if you are, let's just go with the personal trainer. If you're a personal trainer and you're building up an email list, what do you think your clients want the most from you? What are they struggling with the most? What types of things do they need the most help with? And by understanding that, you'll be able to frame things in a way that adds value to them, and you'll be able to help them much better doing it that way.
That's awesome. So I know my listeners, some of them they hear clearly the framework that you've laid out, and some of them will pick it up and they will start trying to copy it and start working on building their business. But I also know that there are some people that they may want to reach out to learn, because you guys have done it. You've helped thousands of people. Can you put me through? How does that look like? Let's say I want to engage the Rethink Academy to guide me in my business so that I can, of course, attract more customers and make money online. How does that look like?
So how they contact us to learn more?
Yes.
Yep. So one of the best ways to do that is if you go to rethinkgift.com. On that, Paul, who's the owner of the company, he's a good friend of mine as well. We've known each other for 11 years. He's written a book called Rethink Social Media. And if you go to rethinkgift.com, you can download the first 4 chapters of that book for free. Okay. And that way you can get a taste of the whole thing that we're going into, and you can get more information around the Rethink model as well. So that's the best way to do that, to get in touch with Rethink.
Okay. That's awesome. So when I, maybe someone that is just starting out, they may think, oh, I don't have thousands of followers online. I don't have all these Facebook, Instagram connections. How can they still do it? Can they still build online business?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. So everyone has to start from somewhere. So, there's no, unless you buy an existing business that already has a client base, every business starts from scratch. So yeah, absolutely. You can start that. The main thing is just going through that Rethink method of saying, okay, well, who can I help? What's the specific need I'm helping to solve? What's that problem I'm solving? And there's 2 other things that's really important when you're looking at your niche and your avatar, is we call it the 2 P's, and it's pain and payment. So is what your client, your target market, is the pain great enough for them to take action to solve it? Okay. Because if the pain's not great enough, then it doesn't matter how good what you do, they're not going to take action at all. And then payment, you need to make sure that who you're targeting, they have the money to pay for that service as well. Okay. Because if you don't, then you run into charity. Okay. So you want to make sure that those 2 things are in line as well. And once you have those and you're looking at how you can best add value to them, then yeah, it doesn't matter if you're just starting off. You'll build up that clientele, or prospect list and email list and following on social media and all that stuff. You'll build that up over time.
So for you personally, Jason, as a coach, how do you work with people? I'm sure at Rethink Academy, so that they can also build their online business. How does that look like?
So there's 2 main things in the way that we work with clients. So we have a program that people can go through where it's loads and loads and loads of training videos. So they can go through that. It's what we call like a DIY. Okay, they do it themselves. They go through the training and they implement the information. We have a higher level of mentoring then as well, because some people say, great, we've got the videos, but I want more kind of one-on-one mentoring, coaching, walk me through the process, all that sort of stuff. And so we've got something like that as well, where we have trainings at the beginning of the week, masterminds towards the end of the week, all that stuff to walk people specifically through how they can build up their business. And we've got clients, all over the world, and people that have been in business for 30 years, and they're wanting to start using online to generate more business for themselves, to people that have never been business owners and they're wanting to start up a business. So we kind of work with a wide spectrum of that. But the first thing that we do is help them get really focused on the area that they're moving in, because we need to make sure that they have clarity on that. We have clarity on that, and that it's the right direction as well. Because there's no magic niche. Okay. There's no magic button or anything like that. There's people making money in every niche around the world, but we need to make sure we have that clarity. So we do, we help give that direction and focus, help create that clarity we talked about earlier, because there's so many messages going out, and help steer people in the right direction with that. So that's what we do with our coaching and mentoring, and it's awesome. We have a fun time doing it, and I've been coaching for 13 years now, and I just absolutely love doing it. So
that's awesome. So I saw on the rethinkacademy.com that you guys can help people to turn their smartphones into their greatest assets.
Yep.
How does that look like?
So it's the same thing. So it's going through that rethink model where, here's the thing about it. If you're not using social media to make money, someone else is. Okay. So if you're going on there, and one of the things that we talk about is the time you spend on social media right now, you're already on it. So why not just change how you're doing it and rethink how you use social media, so that you're not just a user of social media where other people make money from, but you're now making money from the same time you use on social media. Because look, the reality is, whether you're on Facebook and you're scrolling through and all that kind of stuff, people are making money off that. Okay. They're looking at whether you agree with it or not, they're looking at how you use it. They're looking at your demographics. They're looking at that sort of stuff to be able to get data so that they know how to position their advertising the right way. And advertisers are using social media to go on there and market their products and services. So there's people already making money by you being on social media. So why not turn that around and you start making money on social media instead of other people?
That's totally correct. Whether you like it or not, as long as you use the social media, people are making money on it. So why not also join them and make money? That's golden. So are there any kind of special skills that people must possess before they can start any online business, do you think?
No, there's no special skills that people need to have going into it. And that's why, earlier we were kind of chatting about, even if you don't have a business right now, it's about, you don't have to be an expert in an area. You can show people your journey that you're going on. Because, the thing about it is this: people like knowing that other people are going through the same things that they are, because they know they're not alone. They want to know that they're supported through that process. And oftentimes people don't know where they can get the help to help them move through to whatever outcome it is that they're wanting to achieve. So even if you don't have a specific skill or area of knowledge, so let's say, for example, you're wanting to help people with their finances, and you're wanting to learn how to increase your finances as well. So start talking about the journey you've been on. Okay. What problems and challenges have you had with your finances? How to budget, how to spend money, how to save money, maybe how to invest, and the challenges you've gone through and what you're learning, and share that journey through that and let people come along with that journey with you. Then what you can do is say, look, one of the things that I've done is I have gone through this course, or I have done this, or I've read this book, or whatever. And you say, I highly recommend it. And then you're able to put an affiliate link up and say, look, if you want to learn as well, here's the link. And just in that process, so you're not telling them, you're not teaching them, you're not training them, you're going on a journey, they're following you, you're learning, and then you're letting people know the resources you've learned from, and you promote those out as well. And you get, and if people purchase from those links, you can get paid affiliate commissions. I mean, think about this. I mean, how many times have you recommended a book to somebody? We all do. We all read books.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in that process of learning to make money, or whether it's learning business, or whether it's just personal finance on how to stop spending money, how to budget better, how to save money, well, instead of just recommending a book, recommend it through your Amazon affiliate link. Okay. And even if you make 10 cents off of it, at least you've started that journey of being able to recommend something and get paid for it, you know, and then you can build that up over time and be making a lot more than just 10 cents. You know? Yeah, so yeah, man, you don't have to have a specific knowledge or skill set. It's all about how you position yourself in the market. And that's what we teach people. So
that's awesome. So I know you've started doing this for some time now, over a decade. Can you, and I love lesson learned, sharing lessons with other people. Can you share with us some of the lessons you've learned in your journey as building business online or as a coach, helping people to build their businesses?
Yeah. So there's a couple things around that. The first thing is what we touched on earlier about not putting yourself in a commodity-based market. That's one of the biggest mistakes. I mean, so just a little bit of background. I started when I moved to Ireland. I trained as a life coach, and I started marketing myself as a life coach. And within 18 months, I built up an email list of 9,000 people. I was coaching people in 13 countries, all that sort of stuff. And then I transitioned into helping people market themselves online. The reason why I say all that is because having been a life coach and then working with lots of life coaches, business coaches, executive coaches, so consultants, advisors, all that, over the last 11 years now, I've seen people consistently put themselves in a commodity-based market and they end up competing on price. And it's a massive, massive mistake. I've seen a lot of people with some amazing passion. They're inspired with what they do, but they just don't know how to market themselves, and they don't go very far. They have to go back, get a normal day job because they just don't know how to market themselves, and they've lumped themselves into this commodity-based market competing on price. So that's huge thing. The other thing, which we can tell you what buttons to push, right? But the biggest problem that we all have, myself included, okay, is ourselves. Our mindset is a thing that stops us from moving forward. And one of the things, so I run so I'm a LinkedIn expert. That's my main focus. Is I help people on LinkedIn on how to generate really good, high quality leads on LinkedIn without being spammy. And one of the things that I do within Rethink is I do a training around this, and we do masterminds and all that kind of stuff. And so I do a weekly mastermind every Thursday. And every 4 to 5 weeks, it always ends up coming back to mindset. Because what happens is this: when we start something, when we get excited about starting a business and we look at all of the potential, look at all the possibilities, how it's going to change our life and give us the freedom we want and all that sort of stuff. What we do is we look at all of the upside, okay? All of the good stuff. And we do this in every other area of our life as well. It could be a relationship. We get in a new relationship. Do we see the negative sides of that person? No. All we see is how amazing they are, right? And all this kind of stuff. If you're an employee and you get a new job, do you look at any of the negative parts of the new job? No. You look at how your old job is complete pile of rubbish. It was the worst thing ever. Now you're going into your dream job and it's going to be all this stuff. We always look at all of the upsides, all the positive sides, and we don't really balance that out with the downside. Okay. And so when we go into business, that's what we often do. We look at all the positive side. But as soon as we get into that and we start learning and figuring out that we're going to have to learn stuff we didn't even know that we knew we needed to learn, that there's skill sets we may have to learn that may be challenging a little bit, okay? Because it's a new skill, right? I mean, how many new skills have you learned that had no challenge to it? It's a new skill. There's going to be an element of a learning curve and a little bit of a challenge. So what happens then is we get into this, we start learning this stuff, and we go, oh, okay, this isn't as quote unquote easy as we thought it would be. Well, no, it's not that it wasn't as easy. It's that it didn't meet your unrealistic expectations to begin with. Yeah. Because we don't do anything in life where there isn't a balance of the upside and downside. And so when we go into business, it's about understanding that there's going to be things we learn. We're going to, fail, so to speak. We're going to make mistakes along the way. It's not always going to play out the way that we had imagined in our mind and how perfect it works out. And so just learning that and understanding that is huge. And when my clients, when I can help them settle into that and relax into that and say, do you know what? I'm not in this for a quick win. I'm not in this to be, a get rich scheme. Now, can you make money fast? Yes, but we're not in this just for, we're not in this for a week.
Yep.
If you're serious about this, you look at the long term on that. That doesn't mean that it's going to take you a year before you make anything. When we have clients making money within the first 3-4 weeks of working with us, right? And good money as well. But if you go into the long-term mentality that I'm going to do this and I'm going to make it work and I'm going to learn whatever I need to learn, I'm going to overcome every challenge or obstacle that I face, and I'm going to overcome every mental block in my own mind, that is the number one thing that will make you successful, not only in your online business, but everything else in life as well. So I know that's not, people want to know, okay, well, tell me what button to push. Believe it or not, that's the easier bit. The big bit that people get stuck on is their mindset. So those are the two biggest challenges I see people have: mindset and not knowing how to position them properly to stand out above their competition.
Wow, that's very good. So to win in this online business, the first thing is we need the right mindset. We need to be learners because we are going to be learning as we keep moving forward. And consistency is very important.
Yep.
I know people may think it's going to be an overnight success. That's not the case. I remember my first book, when I published my book, the first royalty that I got, maybe it was $10.
Yeah.
And it's not a big amount, but that was money that I created through my work, and that really made me proud. And I think that's what people need to learn. Even if you are making 10 cents when you are starting, that's good. You just have to continue to learn, to continue to develop, and you continue to strategize so that you broaden your horizon so that you can attract more people and add value, because it's all about adding value to people. Add value to people and they'll dip their hand in their pocket to give money to you. I think that's the message.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it as well is people forget where they've come from. Oftentimes when we're working with clients, they'll say, do you know what? All I want is my first lead. That's it. I just want one lead just to know it works. Right. And I always tell people, whether it's one lead or their first dollar they've made, that, it doesn't matter. They say, I always remind them, okay, remember this point, because the second you get your first lead in, the second you make your first dollar, you're going to forget you said that, because you're going to think, well, that's not enough. What am I supposed to do with one lead? Or I can't live off $1. I need more. And we forget the things that we just want to get to, because as soon as we acquire it, we're looking at the next level. And so I always tell people, remember those things. When you get your first lead in, don't look at it as a negative thing, because we build it up. Again, we look at, I just want my first lead. I know it works. We get a first lead in, and then maybe we don't make any money off the first lead. They're like, well, then they get really discouraged. But okay, you've hit your goal. Celebrate that. You've got your first lead in. Now, what did you do to get the first lead in, and how do you duplicate that to get more leads in and continue to build on, which goes along with what you said. So yeah, it's a process. Consistency is key, man.
Hey, Jason, thank you very much for your time. We are coming to the end of this interview. How can my audience, how can they connect with you to learn more about what you do, so that they may also be able to utilize your service?
Yeah, sure, man. So I'm all about LinkedIn. It's what I do. So if people go to LinkedIn, Jason Osborne, So Osborn's Osborn, because people always spell it wrong. But if you go there, let me know that you were listening to this podcast, you want to connect, and you always can connect with me there. But definitely, I do recommend everyone going to rethinkgift.com so you can get those 4 free chapters of the Rethink Social Media book, it's a brilliant book. I didn't write it, so I can say that.
Well, thank you for your time. It's been an awesome one, Jason. I've learned a lot, and I'm going to reach out to you, connect with you, so that we can continue. I want to build my business so that I can continue to. I love this Rethink framework, honestly.
Amazing.
And I think it's what I've been learning, like I said, piece by piece, but I like the way you guys put it together. It's going to be super helpful. So thank you very much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Great to be on, and hope everyone got some value from the session today. So
all right, have a great one.
Cheers, man.
All right.
This episode of Winners Ways podcast has come to a close. We hope you enjoy and learn something from today's show. We want you to win and excel in all areas of your life, and we regularly explore and share information with our listeners to empower them to win. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more tips and strategies to help you find the success that you've always dreamt of. And don't forget to rate and review so that we can continue to bring you more podcast episodes to empower you. We will love to have you again next week. Now, keep winning.